Hello all, this is Tarachand and welcome to SAP Production Planning and S/4HANA 1909 PP Simplification Training. So today we will discuss about MRP area. So see, basically what is MRP area? So MRP area is nothing but is an organizational unit for which material requirement planning can be happen. Now with this definition, if you try to correlate our last session, the MRP area is nothing but our plant, because in our last session we saw we are able to run our material requirement planning with respect to plant, and in MD01N we are able to run MRP area for multiple plant at a time, right? So MRP area is nothing but is an organizational unit for which material requirement planning can be carried out independently. So in SAP we do have three kinds of MRP area. One is plant MRP area. In last session, we discussed also we run MRP. Second, storage location MRP area. And third one is subcontractor location area, subcontractor MRP area. Now we will discuss in details about what is this kind, what purpose it actually used. Okay. So see, as we saw, we are doing material requirement planning at a plant level, right? So within a plant, whatever sales orders are coming up, what are the new requirements are there, what is the plan orders or purchase orders are there, or purchase requisition reservations are there. Based on that, system is doing the calculation in MRP. I'll just open my old screen. System is doing the calculations and calculate the shortages, right? So this is happen at a plant level. So this is nothing but a plant MRP area. Now, why we require the storage location as a separate MRP area, and what is the meaning of that? Now we will go through one case study or one example for business requirement. We will discuss a business requirement, and from that we will try to understand what is the difference between plant MRP area and storage location MRP area. Once you are okay with this difference, then you will definitely easily understand about the subcontractor MRP area. Once we will discuss these things, then we will go to the system and we'll see how to configure this MRP area and what are the difference in MRP ECC and SAP S/4HANA. Let's talk about one case study. The same plant here, what we are discussing, okay? Earlier also we took the same kind of example. Let's say this square is my one production plant where I'm having one raw material storage location. Then I'm having, let's say, two different production lines. There are two different production lines where I'm manufacturing two different products. Let's say on first production line I'm manufacturing X material as a finish, and on second production line I'm manufacturing Y as a finish material. Now for that production line, I may have two different storage locations nearby my production line from where I'm issuing material to the production and I'm getting a finished material to FG storage location. So I'm having two raw material storage location and two finished material storage location. Each line, two different storage locations. Now let's think about the same scenario what we discussed last time. Let's say there is a requirement from customer. Okay, I am just give me 1 minute. Yeah, let's say I'm manufacturing X finished product on a line 1 and Y finished product on a line 2. Okay. Now let's say there is a requirement from customer. Customer is asking me, okay, on this and this date, I need 50 pieces of X material and let's say 150 pieces of Y material. Okay. Then first we will check whether our MRP run will check if I'm running MRP at a plant level. MRP will check whether there is a already produced material available in a FG1 or FG2 storage location. Yes, then it will try to fulfill the requirement from there. Now just take an example. We don't have any stock, okay, for finished material. Then what MRP will do? MRP will go and MRP will create a procurement proposals. For a finished material, MRP will say, okay, for production line 1, we need to have one production order of 50 quantity, and from production line 2, we need to have a production order of Y material for 150 quantity. The same way, system will explore the BOM and go to the next level and we'll check my raw materials is available, right? How created a bill of material. Let's say to produce and to produce Y, I need EFG as a component. So there is one component called D, which is common between both of them. Okay. Now we'll just talk about that common part which is available there. Now let's say for a D at RM storage location, I'm already having an inventory of 100. At the same time, for D, for RM2 location, I'm already having an inventory of 100. Now let's take an example. This bill of material has a 1:1 calculation. To produce one each, maybe I required one piece or one each. Okay. So based on that, system will create the reservations for a raw material from RM01 at production line 1 for 50 quantity. And for production line 2, it will create a reservation for 150 quantity. Now, since I'm having already stock here, 100, and my requirement is only 50. So system will say, okay, no need to worry. We can issue 50. Still we have 50 available at this stock. But if you go to the production line 2, I came to know my requirement for the raw material is 150, but my available stock is only 100. That means there is a shortage of 50. But since we are running a MRP at a plant level, system is checking what is the total stock for that raw material. So total stock is 100 plus 100. That means 200, right? And what is the total requirement? The total requirement from first line, total requirement is 50, and from second line, total requirement is 150. That means total is 200. So system will do the net requirement calculation as per our MRP engine, and system will say, okay, requirement is of 200, and right. So this is nothing but my plant MRP area. I'm running my MRP at a plant level, but this is not an ideal situation, right? Maybe this extra 50 material available at production line 2 may be required for my next production or next shift production. So I cannot use this, or I may not have a facility to transfer this 50 material for RM2 to RM1, right? That can be the situation. That can be the business scenario. And in this case, my plant MRP is not answering and is not, fulfilling my requirement. What my plant MRP is saying here, okay, we have a stock available. You can transfer my stock from RM2 to RM1 of 50 quantity, and you can fulfill the requirement, or you can transfer for RM1 to RM2 and you can fulfill the requirement, right? Instead of creating a new purchase requisition. But my business scenario is like, I don't have maybe such a type of crane or material transfer functionality available here. Let's say my raw material is a steel and I'm in a construction industry, right? So it's a very huge or big weight over there, and it may require a different space to store that material. So to transfer the material for RM1 to RM2, that is not possible. In that case, my plant MRP area is not giving me the right solution. And for that reason, we ended up with some different technology from a MRP. Like we should run the MRP at lowest level of my organizational unit. And that is my raw material, that is my storage location. But in SAP, we have a that kind planning file entry available at only plant level. So that how we will do it then. For that, MRP area, storage location MRP area will come in a picture. Now let's say we'll talk about the storage location MRP area. If I'll create a 2 MRP area, one is for raw material storage location 1 and one is for raw material storage location 2. So my MRP area name could be like plant name dash raw material. So my plant name is TJ01 dash RM01 is my first MRP area. And I'll create a second MRP area. So let's say T01 dash RM02. And then I'll extend this MRP area to my material master. Okay. Now let's take the same example, same scenario. At line 1, I'm manufacturing X. I need a ABCD. At line 2, I'm manufacturing Y. I need E, F, G, H, and D. D is a common material. My stock available at RM1 is 100, and my stock available at RM2 storage location is again 100. The requirement for a material at line 1, or let's say for RM1 is 50, and my requirement for raw material storage location RM2 is 150. In that case, system will do the net requirement calculation not at a plant level, because I have already created my storage location MRP area, and that has I have extended that material to that MRP area. System will do the planning at that storage location level and will check what is the shortages, and finally it will ended up with the total requirement for RM2 is 150. Stock available is 100. So there is a shortages of 50, and system will create a new PR of 50 quantity. So this is nothing but my storage location MRP area. In such a kind. Now let's move ahead and see, discuss about the subcontracting MRP area. Now we will take the same kind of example to understand this MRP area, subcontracting. Now you guys must know about the subcontracting. Okay, subcontracting is nothing but if sometimes I'm getting some manufactured material from the subcontractor, for that I'm sending raw material to subcontractor. Okay, and then subcontractor will provide back me as a finished material or semi-finished material. Now just take an example for this. I'm producing X material at line A, first production line, and Y material at production line B, second line. Okay. To produce X, I need semi-finished material. Okay. And below that semi-finished material, I'm again need some raw material components. So this is multi-level BOM. Just think about that. This is the multi-level BOM. Now, if you see here, I'm getting a raw material at RM1 storage location. I'm going to my production line first, where I'm manufacturing semi-finish. Then I'm getting semi-finished material outside. Again, I'm going to my manufacturing line finish, and I'm getting a finished material outside, and then I'm selling it to customer. This is my scenario. Okay. Now let's say, due to some reason, my the semi-finish one production line is in a breakdown, and I'm not going to produce more. Or the same way, my semi-finish 2 production line is under breakdown, or maybe I'm not going to produce more in my premises. For that, I need to have a subcontractor. So now the scenario will be like this. I'll remove this production line from here. Okay. Yeah. Now I have removed this production line here, and for that production line, I found out some subcontractor vendor, that is V1 and V2. They will do the semi-finished material production for me, and they will supply semi-finished material to me, right? For that, I'm going to send a raw material to subcontractor, and subcontractor will give me a semi-finished material, and then I'll start my finished material production line and do my production. Now this is my subcontracting. Now the same kind of concept. Let's say, again, same bill of material, just take. To produce semi-finish X, I need raw materials A, B, C, and D. To produce semi-finished material Y, I need E, F, G, and D. So D is the common component between them. Okay. Now the same, like what we discussed about our raw material, storage location MRP area. We need to know what the visibility about the stock available at subcontractor, which we have already supplied, right? If we are not creating subcontracting MRP area, then how we will end up with some confusion that we will discuss here. Let's say the same scenario at line 1, to produce X, I need A, B, C, D, and to produce Y, I need E, F, G, H, and T. Same scenario, I have already supplied some material to subcontractor vendor V1, and there is a stock available of 100 at his place. Also, I have supplied some raw material of D, and there is a stock available at both the vendors, right? Now there is a requirement. There is a requirement from customer for FG 50 and for SFG, this Y material 150. Same scenario. I don't have a finished material stock, so system will do the planning and go and check the production material is available not. It will do the MRP calculation, and it will come to know we need to send material to the subcontractor, right? Now in this case, in our first production line, we need to send 50 material to the subcontractor. But already subcontractor is having a stock of 100. So system is saying no need to send. Done. In the second scenario, in the second production line, system come up with the calculation that we need to manufacture 150. That means we need to send a raw material to subcontractor of 150, right? Subcontractor is already having a stock of 100. That means now we need to send only 50, so that here it will get 150 and it will produce the same finish and come back. Now, if I'm not creating a subcontractor as a separate MRP area, system will say, hey, my subcontractor stock available is 100 plus 100, that is 200. And my total requirement is 150 plus 50 is 200. No need to send anything if we are running MRP at a plant level, right? And we will always get consumed which material is available at which subcontractor area, subcontractor. For that reason, we need to create here a subcontracting as a separate MRP area. For this subcontractor, separate MRP area, and then system will easily identify which material is available at which subcontractor area. And in this case, system will say, okay, we need to transfer 50 material to this subcontractor so that subcontractor will produce the same finished material and come back to me. Any questions? You can raise your hand if you have any questions.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
Now, if we run the MRP at the plant level, and we don't consider, the subcontracting MRP area, then what would be the difference? Now, say we have considered this as a subcontracting process. We have the requirement, okay. Now the stock is lying at the vendor's place. So in case of a plant MRP, system will not consider this vendor stock or what? So that is my first question. So in plant MRP, system will consider this vendor stock or not? My second question is, can we combine this both together?
The question was, if I'm having a stock available at subcontractor and I'm running my MRP at a plant level, then whether system will consider that subcontractor stock. If the answer is, if you haven't created a subcontractor MRP area in the system. See, I'll go to one screen back, and I just want to show you here. See, when we are running a MRP, let's say this is the MRP transaction. We are not selecting any MRP area here. We are just selecting plant. Within that plant, whatever the MRP area you have created, that will get automatically considered. Now, come back to your question. Your question is, if we have a stock available at a subcontractor, okay, but you haven't created a subcontracted MRP area, then system will not consider, or system will not check exactly how much stock is available at which subcontractor. System will say only 200 stock is available at a subcontractor. That's it. We will not get a clear picture or clear visibility of the stock in that case. If you have created two separate MRP areas, then system will say, okay, at this subcontractor, 100 stock is available, requirement is 50, no need to do anything. At subcontractor V2, 150 stock is available and we need to send more 50. You got the answer? I guess the question from...
Tara.
Yeah.
Tara, this is Anshul. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Anshul, go ahead.
Tara, I just have a question that what if like we don't have stock available in RM2 as well? So then how the process will go? Then we have to issue from RM1.
Correct. Now, if I'm having, I don't have stock here, right? And in this case, I need to send, 50 material to the subcontractor as per our scenario, right? We are supposed to send 50 materials to the subcontractor. This 50 material we are supposed to send, that means that subcontractor has requested, or as per planning, there is a shortage of 50 material to the subcontractor. In that case, system will create a purchase requisition to the vendor for 50. Vendor will supply 50 here, and then we'll supply it to the subcontractor.
Or sorry, just wanted to ask, like, what if we have extra 50 in our RM1? Can we get that from RM1?
Correct. If
And
I'm
then
already, yes. This is a good question. If I'm having a extra 50 at RM1, but we haven't created raw material or storage location MRP area. Okay. We discussed plant MRP area, we discussed storage location MRP area. If you haven't created raw material, this RM1 storage MRP area and RM2 MRP area, in that case, system will say, okay, send this 50 material to here and from here to here. If you haven't created storage location MRP area, in that case, system will consider the stock available at RM1.
okay.
Got it? That's why these three MRP areas are always interlinked, and based on our business requirement, we need to configure. Okay, now in the same scenario, if I'm not able to transfer the material from here to here because of I don't have transport facility or this thing. In that case, I need to create two separate MRP area for storage location also. If I can transfer material from RM1 to RM2, in that case, I no need to create a storage location MRP area. Only I will create a subcontractor MRP area and I can do my planning. Right?
Okay.
There is one more question from, I guess, Alok. Let me see.
So Tara, you pick a vendor from like subcontracting, which you issue the component to the vendor, right? From the PO side, like purchase order, and you give issue to vendor, right?
Yes. So this process we will discuss in detail when we go to the subcontracting scenario. Okay. In such a type of scenario, system will create, let's say, my material is SFX. Although it's an in-house manufacture, now I am supposed to get it from the subcontractor. In that case, we will put a special procurement type as a X. Okay. After MRP, system will create a purchase requisition for that material, right? Or F. Okay. System will create a purchase requisition instead of creating plan order. In before that, I just there was my production line. That time I was supposed to manufacture it. That time my procurement type is E. That means I'm supposed to manufacture it. Now, since my production line is in a breakdown, or I'm not going to produce this material again, I will change my procurement type of that material to F. In that case, system will create a purchase requisition. Then we will convert this PR to subcon PO. For that, we need to do some master data setup, like we need to create a subcontracting vendor. We need to create a vendor info records, right? When I'm creating subcon PO, that PO will have a component allocation. Like system will explore the BOM and automatically it will say, okay, A, B, C, D, this many materials we need to send it to the subcontractor, right? Then during MRP run, system will check how much stock is available at a subcontractor location. It came to know already 100 is available. Then through ME2O process, or now is in Amigo, by 541 movement type, we will send only 50 material from my location to the subcontractor. So that here total stock will be 100 plus 50 equal to 150. And then subcontractor will produce the material and come here, send the material SFG2 back to us. So this is how subcontracting process is happening in detail. Once we go to our the sessions and training, that time I'll explain you and I'll do configure that process, and we will see how its results look like, and you can also do the practice for that. This session is to understand you what is MRP, what is MRP area. That's it. You got the concept?
So where in the MRP run this MRP area will come?
Yes, we will go to the next slide and we'll discuss on that. Okay. Okay. So, okay, come to your question only now. Now we are moving to the next slide. That's why. So in ECC, we do have a facility, I guess in MD03, we can run our MRP area at a, we can run MRP at a MRP area level. Now in SAP S4HANA, we don't have that facility. So if you have created a MRP area and you have already extended material to that MRP area, you no need to worry. That will automatically get considered. Right? Because if you look into the MRP area screen, MRP run screen, I'll go back to 8 number side. Here I'm giving here plant, material, product group, MRP controller, that's it, right? So within this plant, if I have created 5 storage location MRP area and let's say 3 subcontractor MRP area, that will automatically get considered inside. No need to run separately for that. So the planning will be happening in this way.
5 and 4 you are saying in this screen?
Sorry?
How do you, where is this 5 and 4 in the screen?
5 and
like just now you told MRP area for subcontracting, you select 5, right?
No, not 5. I'm not getting your question.
No, in that MRP screen, yeah, here. You were saying use 4 or 5, something like that, right?
No. In this case, see here, we can give a plant. Okay.
Yeah, this is plant-based MRP, right?
MRP area. So in ACC, we have a MRP always at a MRP area level. Now we are giving here plant as a selection screen. Now we don't have any MRP area below that. Below that plant, I do have a storage location MRP area as well as subcontractor MRP area. So you no need to give as a selection here. System will automatically check within this plant what are the different MRP areas are there. And for that MRP area, which are the materials extended for that. System will automatically check these things and do the planning as per your requirement. So you no need to give separate MRP area planning in a
MDC MRP level. Area for subcontracting.
Yes.
Like we the vendor, right? So when we create this MRP area, I think through MM01 only we create, right? And we assign the MRP.
Yeah, we can assign this MRP area in a MRP4 screen, okay? In MM02 maybe or MM01, that is right, okay? For that material. When you are running MRP at this plant level, right? System will check which material. In this material, again, it will go to MRP4 screen and it will check what is the MRP area assigned. If we have that storage location MRP area, system will start doing calculation what I explained earlier.
Can you show where it is in MRP4?
Yeah, we'll go to the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go to the screen and we'll show. Before that, I just want to know if you have conceptually okay with the MRP area, then we'll go ahead and we will see.
And how does it behave in ECC? Is it the same in ECC as well?
Yes. That's what we are going to think now. See, there are 3 types of MRP area. That is, one is plant, one is storage location, and one is subcontracting. These MRP area were available in ECC as well. And now in HANA also we are having these 3 MRP area. But in SAP S4HANA, SAP did some simplifications. Like in ECC, we used to create a MRP area and then we need to activate the MRP area. These kind of configurations that we need to do in the system. Okay. So now that type of configuration, we need to activate MRP area. Then we need to create a planning file entries for the MRP area. That type of configuration was available in ECC. Now in SAP S4HANA, this kind of configuration is not required. That has been removed. Okay. So the configuration, we no need to have that configuration is not available in the MRP area, because when we are creating a plant in SAP S4HANA, system is automatically creating a MRP area for that plant. First thing. Second thing, when you identify, okay, within this plant, I'm having these 2 storage locations where there is one common material and which is very heavy that I cannot transfer from one location to other location. And for that location, I need to plan separately at a storage location level. We need to create a storage location MRP area. Hence, again, we no need to activate anything in SAP. We can directly, go and create a MRP area for storage location that will automatically consider in your planning. That facility is available in SAP S/4HANA. Second thing, a third point about the storage location MRP area. In ECC, we have two options to plan the raw materials. One, that we in ECC also we are able to create a storage location MRP area and do the planning. And there is one more tab available at a MRP4 screen, that is exclude storage location from the MRP, that kind of things. If I'm having a material available at block stock or scrap location or rejection storage location, I don't want to, let's say, that stock has to be considered in the net requirement calculation and planning. In that case, in ECC, we do have that functionality available. Now in SAP S/4HANA, that functionality is not available. Now what SAP S/4HANA is saying, if you want to exclude the stock for a specific storage location, you just create a MRP area and put ND indicator in that storage location, done. You don't need to do anything. We will see in system this kind of things, how SAP has been removed. Okay. Now the fourth point is in the subcontracting MRP area. See, in the subcontracting MRP area,
yeah, but I guess storage location view is independent of MRP view, right?
No. In ECC, we do have that exclude storage location indicator at MRP4 view, and from there only you can easily exclude that material from the MRP calculation. Now that facility is not available because SAP S/4HANA is saying now your MRP will be happen at a MRP area level, either it at a plant MRP area or it at a storage location MRP area. If you want to exclude that material from any planning or something, you need to create a storage location MRP area and extend your material to that MRP area. That's it. So within the MRP area, we do have a MRP parameters, okay, that we will see in the screen. I'll show you. In that MRP parameters, you just need to put ND. That means this location will not getting planned in the MRP.
Okay.
Okay. Now we'll see about the fourth point, that is subcontracting MRP area. See, subcontracting MRP area is exactly same. We need to create a subcontracting MRP area and then assign that subcontractor to that MRP area, and then extend all the components to that subcontractor MRP area. That third point in ECC was mandatory. Now in S/4HANA, SAP is saying it's optional. If you want to extend material to the subcontracting area, it's well and good. If not, then also fine. Only when, although it's recommended to extend the all components to that MRP area. But if you are not extending, it will not impact. Why we need to extend? Let's say for a plant level, you are having some different parameters, planning parameters, and for the specific MRP area, you want to have a different planning parameters. I'll explain. Let's say for that material, let's say this is the raw materials or something. At a plant level, you are saying your lot size is EX. But when you are planning this for this specific subcontractor, your lot size should be FX. In that case, you need to create a MRP area. In that MRP area, in the planning parameters, you need to put FX, and then you need to extend this X material to that planning area, then it will be okay. So this is optional. If I'm having EX at both the places, I don't have any different planning parameters for that material with this MRP area. No need to do extension of that raw material. So it's little bit, the master data maintenance activity is getting removed. So this is the new functionality that is available in SAP S/4HANA, which was mandatory in ECC. Okay. So these are the simplifications that SAP has provided from the MRP area point of view. Okay. Ash, could you please check Durga Prasad? I guess he's having one question. He has raised one hand. Let me see.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, Durga.
My question is, can we get a report what the MRP has planned? When I execute that MRP, this one, what is the output format it will come? What is the output? Can I see that report? Is it available?
Yeah, see, in ECC also we do have a MD05, okay. but that report is not that simplified that any user can look, because there are thousands of material and so many exception messages are happening inside, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so we do have that report. We can easily find out what are the different materials has been planned. But what is the output if you want to look into it? You do have a MD04 report available, that is material stock requirement list, where you can easily see, okay, this is my requirement, this is my purchase requisition, this is what the planning requirement.
Sorry to disturb. On that report, I can view only the one particular material only, right?
Yes.
But I need as an entire what is the
MRP list.
Yes.
Yes, but see, why SAP has given that kind of functionality, I'll tell you. So see, if I'm having thousands of material, okay, it's not that easy to merge it in a single MD04 screen. But although that requirement is there, in SAP Logistic, they have created advanced MD04, okay, advanced MD04.
Okay.
MD04. But this is paid report. You need to reach out to SAP, and then they will give you the access to MD04. They have specially customized, okay, where you have an option to put multiple materials in MD04 and multiple plant, and you get a different kind of cockpit they have developed. Okay.
Okay.
So in that cockpit, you will easily select the materials, and you can see the same report what you see in MD04, but this is much more advanced.
Is it a licensed version or licensed?
It's not a licensed version. It's kind of SAP Note that is available in SAP Logistics or something. Okay, yeah, I guess Logistics module. They have created that MD04 cockpit. It's called Advanced MD. You can Google it. You will get the detailed information. Advanced MD04. If you put it, you'll get a beautiful blog written by SAP. And for that, you need to reach out to SAP. They have clearly mentioned, there are some contact person name they have mentioned. Okay, you can reach out to them and they will tell you how to implement that report in your company. Within ECC we have MD04, and in SAP S/4HANA we have beautiful applications, that is material shortage report and these kind of things for MD04. That I guess in our last session we have discussed.
Thank you.
Okay. So these are the simplification points that is there in SAP S/4HANA. At any point in time during your interview questions also, you might get asked like what is the advanced features available in MRP Live or in MRP area. So these are the main bullet point that you need to remind.
Hi Tara. I want to ask, like, for a single material, how can you have two different storage location or MRP area? Where can you define or assign that?
Okay. See, when we are creating a material, okay, you can extend that material to n number of location. In short, in many companies, there is a big store. Okay, whenever vendor is supplying a material, you are storing that material to that big store. And then whenever there is a requirement from the production line, you are issuing this material to that production line. You are just transferring material from your location to that small location. And then from that small location, production people will start consuming it to the production order. That means physically my material is storing at main store as well as my production location. Hence, in MMSC, I guess if you are already working on SAP, you have that facility to extend the material to the multiple storage location. And that is very common requirement and common facility that is already available in SAP.
What is the T code?
MMSC.
SC.
Yeah, where you can assign, sometimes you haven't assigned the material to that storage location and you are trying to pull or put the material or keep the stock there, and system is throwing you error. Okay, this material is not extended to this storage location. In that case, you need to go to MMSC and assign that storage location to that material. Then system will allow you to place that material there or transfer that material to that location.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
This question is related to exclude storage location from MRP, before storage location indicator ND.
Yes.
I guess if you extend storage location, then MRP views remains the same, right? MRP 1, 2, 3,
MRP, 4. That remains exactly same.
Either you can do ND or you cannot do ND, right?
Yes, it can be anything. Now, if you want to exclude the specific location, for that location, you need to create a separate MRP area and assign that material to that MRP area.
So like here you are saying MRP4 should have storage location indicator ND. And I have extended my material in two different storage locations. MRP4 is constant for both the storage locations,
Yes,
right?
MRP4 is constant. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, in ECC earlier, if you want to exclude any material storage location, okay.
Yeah.
So in the storage location MRP4, there is a storage location indicator. It's not kind of ND. I just think it's ND. There is a 1, 2, 3 that kind of indicators were available. Exclude this location from MRP. Okay. So that indicator that you need to activate, that was available in ECC. Once you activate that,
if you show in system, this MRP4 is constant for both the storage location, right?
Yes.
If you do it, it happens for both storage location.
Yeah.
Not for one. Not for one.
Not for one.
Happen for both.
No. See, when that's the thing that is there in ECC. At MRP4 view, you are saying you want to exclude the storage location, but your material is already extended to two locations, location RM and location scrap, correct? And you have X material, which is already extended to both. Now you just want to exclude the storage location from the MRP.
Yeah.
Right? In that case, earlier in ECC, you need to go to the MD04 view, where there is a storage location indicator and there is a separate configuration 1, 2, and where you need to mention your storage location name, so that system will only exclude scrap location, not RM1.
Yeah, okay. It is you have mentioned storage location name, right?
No. I just mentioned here. This was the configuration available in ECC. Now that is not available. So I just mentioned here it as a ND. That's it. So in ECC, we do have that functionality to exclude the storage location from MRP. Now in S4HANA, that functionality is not available. If you want to still exclude the storage location, you need to create a MRP area, right? And in that MRP area, you need to put indicator ND. So
you are talking from configuration setup, right?
Configuration setup.
Material master.
Yes. You need to.
Okay.
Correct. You need to create. So it's both actually. First, you need to go to SPRO and you need to create your MRP area, storage location MRP area for scrap. And in that, you need to put ND. Then you come back to material master and you need to allocate that MRP area which you have created to that material. So both things that you need to do. Once you will go to the screen, you will easily, understand what exactly I'm talking about. Okay. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll quickly go to the SAP screen. I'll try to show you what are the different things available there. Let's say in SPRO, we will talk about. In SPRO, there is a production planning. Here we are just going to see what are the things available. In our real training session, we will try to configure and all that things, okay? Production planning. In the production planning, we do have material requirement planning. In the material requirement planning, master data, and this is the MRP area, right? See. Here, we directly have defined MRP area and defined subcontracting MRP area. In earlier ECC, we do have activate MRP area. That's what I actually shown you here in the screen, this thing. This kind of configuration was there. Now that is not available. Now, if you want to create a MRP, I'm sorry, I'll go to that screen. You can directly go here, define storage location MRP area, okay? If you see here, we have plant MRP area, storage location MRP area, and subcontracting or supplier location, right? So let's say there are some different, you can directly create a new entries for plant and assign that storage location to that MRP. I'll show you how to create it. In real scenario, we can see, let's say my plant is TJ01-, I'm having RM01 as a storage location. I can say RM01 MRP area. Okay, here I need to put, this is my storage location MRP area. And here I need to put my plant TJ01, right? Invalid entry, oh sorry. This is how you need to configure. Now it's saying, okay, in this plant, you have 100 storage location or 10 storage location. For which storage location you want to create that MRP area? And now here I need to select my storage location. I have RM1, RM2, RM3 like that way. So I'm selecting RM1, okay? Once I'm selecting, if I'm going inside overview, okay, I'll go back and we'll see here is the plant MRP area. See, assign storage location, right? Here we need to create RM00. That's how you can. And then it will create a transport request. Now, once you have created that MRP area, you need to go to the material master. That's what somebody was talking about, where we need to assign it, right? MM02 or MM03 and MD0. We will see here. Let's say, what was that material number? Area 00. Okay. At MRP4 view, TJ01. Okay, MRP area, you need to assign it MRP1. Okay. Here is the MRP area indicator, where you can go here and you can simply assign your MRP area that you have created, right? Then, if you have MRP profile, no, nothing. Okay. Now, in this MRP area, you have again a MRP parameters. That was your question. Like for a material, I'm having only one, MD04 screen common, right? At that MD01, let's say I want to exclude the stock from that location. Okay. In that case, I'll simply put here ND. In material master, it is PD, but here I'm putting it as a ND and I'm saving it. Now, what will happen whenever I'll plan this material? Okay. I'll go back, adopt, done, save, just a minute. Okay. Now let's say this material has a planning, correct? But if my stock is at that location, RM01, RM00 location, that will not be planned because there I have put ND, right? So I may have this material extended to, let's say, 5 storage locations, but I have created only one MRP area and that has been assigned here saying ND. That means that material will not be planned with that storage location. For other storage location stock, it will get planned. Also, I just want to show you in ECC, we were having additional tab here for exclude the storage location from MRP and this thing. Now that tab is not available in SAP S/4HANA. This is 1909. I don't have, I guess, SAP access, ECC access. I could show you, but maybe in our training session we will get that access and I will show you here. So these are the new simplifications available in SAP S/4HANA.
So in case of subcontracting, we assign vendor in the configuration level, or at we can do it.
Okay, we will see. Yeah, we will see.
Because
the same way, yeah. Vendor is the master data. That's, I got your question, like where to assign it, right? There are some different steps available for that. You need to create. I am going to production planning. And then material requirement planning, then master data, MRP area, define MRP area for the subcontractor. Okay, MRP area text plant name, right? And then here you have a subcontractor. Okay, let's create one of them. MRP area test one. Test con. Plenty. I don't have the subcontractor and these things available. Okay. So to have 1 to 4 digits. Okay. Then here you need to assign the subcontractor at the configuration level. You need to go to new entries. Here you need to put the subcontractor. Although you have a different tabs here, you can assign only one subcontractor. Okay. So I'll try to see whether I'm having any vendor available. Okay. I'll try to assign it. I don't know whether it is there because I haven't created anything for that company. No, I don't have a vendor. But that's how we need to assign it and save it. So here we need to create a subcontractor first. Again, you need to go to the configuration and you need to assign the subcontractor at a configuration level. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So during our training session, we may go in details about the configuration, how to do it. We'll run the scenarios. I just want to give some glimpse about what is the subcontractor. Since we already discussed about MRP run in our last session, I thought like we will also discuss about MRP area, and that topic will be again discussed during our training session with a detailed configuration and all that things. Okay. Thank you guys. Thanks for your time. Thanks for joining the session. Good day, good night. Bye-bye.